The excellence of every art is its intensity, beauty, finesse, and grace. Yet when applied to gymnastics, the exact formula remains as elusive as the perfect 10. Even to the trained eye, discerning gymnastic excellence is an inexact science, for there is no clear-cut, infallible scoreboard. Tonight, it's the PAC-10 Women's Gymnastic Championships. It is here where the great ones will reach for the rose, but only a few will avoid the thorns. Tonight, we are at Heck Edmondson Pavilion on the campus of the University of Washington, where ESPN is proud to present the 1994 PAC-10 Women's Gymnastic Championships. Welcome to the Emerald City for the 1994 renewal of these PAC-10 Women's Gymnastics Championships. Good evening, everyone. I'm Phil Stone. UCLA has won 5 of the last 7 PAC-10s, but is rarely a runaway. Traditionally, these are very close, hotly contested battles. Working with me to call the action tonight is former Bruin gymnast Mara Driscoll. And Mara, what about this conference? Year in and year out, it is one of the premier gymnastic conferences.
Well, the PAC-10 is easily one of the most competitive conferences in the country gymnastically. Of the 7 PAC-10 teams, 4 of them are currently ranked among the top 20. But that doesn't even tell the whole story, because the top teams in the conference are ranked number 6, number 8, and number 9. And they are Arizona State, Oregon State, and UCLA. And these are the teams we want to focus on tonight. UCLA will be going for back-to-back PAC-10 team titles, and Oregon State will be trying to better their runner-up status of last year. Arizona State comes into this meet ranked the highest. They too want the win, and the race is going to be tight.
Well, so many great names, Mara, have come out of this PAC-10 conference. It has really been a proving ground for so many world-class gymnasts. And tonight, that tradition continues. Who are the marquee names this evening?
We'll start with our defending PAC-10 all-around champ, UCLA junior Karima Marrow. She is such an explosive and powerful gymnast. You will not want to miss her on the floor exercise and vault. Take my word for it. She is currently ranked number 7 in the country in the all-around, and her new teammate out of Toronto, Canada, is freshman sensation Leah Homa. Leah epitomizes the true beauty in women's gymnastics. She's very graceful and elegant, and she's ranked number 8 in the country among collegiate all-arounders. From Arizona State, junior Tina Brinkman finished a very close second in the all-around last year at the PAC-10s, and you can bet she will be fighting for the title this year. She's the PAC-10 all-around champ on the floor and vault. From Oregon State, finally, senior Shari Knight is back after having knee surgery, and she is a force. She'll probably only be doing 3 events, but you will want to watch her there. She's a former PAC-10 all-around champ, a former PAC-10 Gymnast of the Year, a 4-time All-American, just a phenomenal athlete. And Phil, with such great individuals and teams at a meet like this, anything can happen. It's a championship meet and a warm-up meet for the upcoming regionals and nationals. All the teams are in peak competition form, but they do have some injuries, so that will play a part. But overall, it's going to be very exciting, because any of the top teams in the conference could be crowned the PAC-10 champ.
Well, there have been 17 perfect 10s this year in intercollegiate gymnastics, and PAC-10 gymnasts have put up 5 of those perfect scores. Back with the PAC-10s from the Emerald City in a moment. The Washington Huskies, Heck Edmondson Pavilion, and boy, what a beautiful day and evening it here in the Pacific Northwest. Well, it has certainly been a transitional year for scoring in collegiate gymnastics. Mara, what has it meant to this sport at the collegiate level?
Well, we'll get a little college scoring 101 here, Phil. In college, the women start out with a base score of a 9.6, and skills are valued on a scale of A to E, A being the most basic element and E being the most difficult element. I think of the E ticket at Disneyland. That's the high-flying, high-speed rides. Those are the E moves. D's are worth 1/10 and E's are worth 2/10. And this is how the gymnasts are going to get their bonus to have a 10-0 routine.
Our defending champion in the all-around from a year ago. She's a junior. This is Karima Marrow of UCLA. Her season best on the bar is a 9.875.
Karima is such an exciting gymnast, and I've really seen her improve each meet on this event. She's going to start her routine doing 3 pirouette moves in a row, and she's going to do her release move, called a Tkachev, at the end of her routine, which really says a lot for her stamina. And if you see her compete, you will see exactly what I mean when I say her stamina. She's just very explosive. She almost has to contain her explosive energy on this event, Phil.
Now, many wondered if she could possibly improve on what a great sophomore year she had a season ago. But boy, as a junior, she broke the doors down on the UCLA record books.
Not only is she the PAC-10 all-around champion, she is also the West Regional all-around champ.
Karima Merrill.
Remember to look for her pirouette move in the beginning of her routine. 3 in a row. A lot of control on the uneven bars. She does her mount, a straddle over. Here she goes. 1 pirouette full on the top of the bar, another giant full pirouette, and another pirouette. An overshoot to handstand. She's moving very well. She's gained a lot of confidence on this event, and here comes her release move at the end of her routine, a Tkachev. She caught it way out far of the bar, which is exactly what you want to do. Now get ready for her dismount. She's going to drop out of the air. Here it comes, a double pike flyaway. Oh, just a little step on the landing, but a beautiful routine for Karima Merrill.
And she's met by co-head coach at UCLA, Scott Bull, who along with Valerie Condos has just continued that great UCLA women's gymnastics tradition.
We're going to take a look at her pirouette move. You can see how precise you have to be. She does a blind, she hops in that. And here she goes. She's going to do her overshoot to handstand. So much precision, of course, required on this event. And here we go, her release move, a Tkachev, nice and high, far away from the bar. That's exactly how you want it to be done. She locks out on top of the bar at the handstand.
Maybe her greatest threat tonight in these PAC-10 championships will come from a teammate, a freshman. You talked about her in our open here. It's a young lady by the name of Leah Homa.
I'll tell you, Phil, Leah Homa was a find for the UCLA Bruins. She comes to Westwood as the #2 gymnast out of Canada. She has had a tremendous freshman campaign. She has such beautiful toe point, leg extension. Everything is just so. She's a very focused athlete. Here go her releases, a Jaeger into another immediate Jaeger. Oh, and she missed it. I've never seen her miss that all season long, and that's going to be very, very tough for her because she was contending for the all-around. And at a meet like this, you really can't have a fall if you expect to be leading. She's going to be very disappointed. Like I said, she's very intense and focused. And her overshoot to handstand. See if she can finish up strong. There's a giant full twist, full pirouette on the top of the bar, and here comes her dismount, a double pike flyaway with a hop. And I know she's going to be so disappointed, and so are her teammates. She has a wonderful disposition. She's very well liked on the team, and she's going to be disappointed.
A moment ago, we saw Karima Merrill on the bars. Her score, 9.825.
That's a very good score for Karima. Remember, she was, I think, 4th in the rotation, and as rotations work, the lineup, the best gymnasts come last. So to be 4th and to get that highest score is very good.
Now, Leah, freshman out of Toronto. Boy, she has had an awesome year for a first-year collegiate gymnast. What happened on this, Mara?
This is, I believe, the end of her routine, the very beginning. This is a giant swing. She does her full pirouette. And I think she's getting ready for her dismount here. A double pike flyaway, very nicely done. A little hop on the landing, but really a disappointing performance for Leah. She has 3 moves named after her in the International Code of Points, and you're seeing her score, 9.35. That really is a testament of how skilled she is.
Here is Megan Fenton. She has recorded a perfect 10 in the uneven bars this year.
And you have to watch this girl swing. She is unbelievable. She's ranked number 14. She wasn't supposed to do that. She did a front giant, and here she goes into her Tkachev. That was not planned, but because she's so good, she can improvise extremely well. She goes over and above the call of duty. There is her 3rd release move. It is only a requirement to have 2. And she goes above and beyond.
I suppose what you would expect from your reigning champion on the uneven bars.
That's exactly right. She got a perfect 10 last year to earn that honor. And a double back to a perfect landing. That will score well, even though that wasn't in the plan. She is the best improviser I've ever seen in my life. I saw her in a routine this year where she did 3 front giant moves in a row, and it wasn't even planned. Normally someone would just fall off the bar, but not her. She really knows how to put it all together.
Megan, a junior out of Sandy, Utah.
We're going to take another look at her here. This is her giant blind change, a front giant. She does another pirouette, and she's getting ready for her dismount, a double tuck flyaway, perfect landing.
Now don't go away. The PAC-10 Women's Gymnastics Championships from Seattle, Washington are just heating up. Megan Fenton of UCLA, her score on the uneven bars, a 9.85. UCLA as a team through one rotation on the bars scored 9.35 as a team. Oregon State now on the floor exercise.
This is Marilyn Anderson, and she stepped in and stepped up last year in Shari Knight's absence. Here she goes, a double pike, the opposite direction. Usually gymnasts tumble from corner to corner, but Marilyn did it across the mat instead. She's setting up for another tumbling pass. A round-up whip-back, back handspring, double tuck, a strong tumbling pass. This year in college gymnastics, because of the new rules, it is only a requirement to have 2 tumbling passes, which is great on saving your bodies because a lot of pounding on floor exercise, tough on your ankles, tough on your knees, and these gymnasts definitely feel it. She's moving well. Something that we're looking for on the floor exercise. This is a real event where you can express your personality through your dance and through your movements. We're going to see lots of elements combined, jumps and leaps. We're looking for explosive tumbling and great showmanship. Beautiful dance. She's going to do another tumbling pass here, so she is not utilizing the new scoring rule. Round-up back handspring, full to immediate punch front. And it is also a requirement, a good routine for Marilyn Anderson. Also a requirement to have one pass that has 2 saltos.
And now her teammate here is Shari Knight. She is Oregon State's record holder in the bars, the beam, the all-around. Boy, what a tremendous career. But she has had to bounce back from a tremendous injury, and you can see on her left leg, total reconstructive knee surgery less than a year ago.
An injury feels that typically gymnasts do not come back for, and just watch her. She has so much pure talent. She is exceptional on every single event. We just found out earlier that she will be going on the floor exercise because naturally her knee, and she turned her ankle in practice on Monday of this week. Here comes her first tumbling pass, a front through to a double tuck, and a perfect landing, a very good job. And she, you can bet, utilizes just 2 tumbling passes to save her knee and all of the injuries that she's experiencing. In fact, her second tumbling pass, she doesn't even land on her feet, and you'll see that. I cannot say enough about Shari Knight. She is an excellent athlete. She just has outstanding physical skills, and her execution of skills is almost always very near perfect. And she's having fun out there. Like I was saying, this is an event you want to pull the crowd in. Lots of showmanship and expression. Very dramatic and dynamic. And here's her last tumbling pass. A round-up back handspring, Arabian, 1 3/4. She didn't land on her knee, so she didn't have to deal with that pounding. And again, she fulfilled all the requirements, 2 tumbling passes. One of the passes had 2 saltos in it. So she's all set with a 10-0 value routine. And a beautiful job for Shari Knight. That is absolutely no surprise.
Well, Oregon State Beaver fans who have made the trek from Corvallis to Seattle are on their feet here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion.
You know, Phil, all of the 4 gymnasts that we featured at the beginning of the show account for all of the top 10 all-around scores in the conference this year. So it's going to be a great race. We're going to take another look at part of her routine. So round-up back handspring, Arabian 1 3/4 to her. That's a prone position, and she didn't have to land on her knee, which is exactly the reason why they implemented that move. She's so fun to watch, and just last season she was leading the nation in the all-around, #1 in the country before her injury, and everybody around the country was really disappointed because she was practically a shoo-in for the national title.
Reminds so many people who watch women gymnasts tomorrow, 1988 Olympian Kelly Garrison.
That's right, Kelly Garrison Steeves. She competed for University of Oklahoma and then in the '88 Olympics in Seoul.
Now Shari's score 9.85, well off her best season score this year of 9.95, but get the feeling she's very happy with that tonight.
I think she is.
From the University of Arizona, moments ago, Jenna Caraville on the beam for the Wildcats. Junior out of Vienna, Virginia.
And she was, of course, the PAC-10 balancing champion in 1993, just last season. The University of Arizona has had such a tough time this season. They have been besieged with injuries. Here's her tumbling run, back handspring, layout, step up, back handspring. And there are the combination of elements that we're looking for. She received bonus tenths for that combination. And her leap series, she moves with precision as well. She was out for much of the season because of some personal problems, and they're very happy to have her back. A gainer back handspring. She's moving quite quickly. Sometimes in competition you tend to speed up because you have the competition jitters going, and that can sometimes work against you on the balance beam. With seven different rotations going, Arizona starts on the balance beam, and typically that is not the place you want to start. And with this team, they've been having some problems here.
Now they have had 4 falls so far tonight on the beam.
That's really tough. I was going to say don't count Arizona out because they just came off their season best last weekend against Arizona State University. They scored a 193.60, and I thought maybe they could turn it on tonight. There's her dismount, a gainer full off the side of the beam. The score for Jenna Carabel was a 9.625. A pretty good score for her, but for the Pac-10 champ, I don't know.
But again, well off her career mark of 9.9. Don't go away. We're coming back with more of the Pac-10 Women's Championships. Pac-10 Women's Gymnastics Championships. This is Arizona State's Tina Brinkman.
And Tina Brinkman, per her head coach, John Sweeney, she is an All-American threat on every event. She is definitely their top all-arounder. She's not nationally ranked on the balance beam. It's actually her weakest event. But, of course, she's still up there because she's definitely up there in the all-around. As far as Arizona State goes, the Sun Devils have had some problems on the balance beam. Not so much this year, but last year and the year before in the championship meets at Nationals, they dropped at least 4 spots, I would say, because of the falls they had on beam. So they have to really try to put it together on the balance beam. The balance beam, Phil, is really a critical event in gymnastics. It can make or break you, and it usually is the deciding event. It's going to mean a lot in this competition with such parity in the top. Tina is very confident. She turns it on in competition. She's a true competition athlete. In the gym, she doesn't do as many repetitions as most gymnasts, routine repetitions, but in competition, she does extremely well. Here's her flight series, back handspring, layout with her feet together. That's a new move. She usually does it with a step out. You see she had some form difficulty on that. And on the balance beam, if the judges decide that 2/10 they take off on more than one, on any one skill, then all the bonus goes away. She would have gotten 3/10 bonus for that combination. It really depends on what the judges deem acceptable. She's moving very well, and she got that big tumbling move out of the way, so she can breathe easy at this point.
That beam, 16 feet long, just 4 inches wide.
And if they move easy and they look like they're not on something 4 inches wide, then that means they're doing a good job. Again, this event requires so much mental concentration and focus. You have to tune out everything around you. I mean, just think about it. With 7 rotations going on, there's the crowd, all different events going on, music on the floor exercise. You really have to put your beam head on, Phil, and kind of like your game face, and just run with it. She's getting ready for her dismount. A round-off double full to a great landing. That was a very nice routine. One of the best routines I've seen her do all year. I've seen her compete a few times this season.
And you simply can't overstate, Maura, how important it is for Tina Brinkman particularly to score well on the early apparatus, because if she doesn't score well, she tends to get down on herself.
We're going to take another look at her flight series, a back handspring, layout with her feet together. She bent her knees, but we'll have to see what kind of score she gets. This is a look at her dismount. Look at 4 inches wide. You can really see it there. Her double full dismount to a great landing. She did a very nice job for the Sun Devils.
Junior out of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, has scored well on the beam.
You know, Tina is definitely happy that this is out of the way, because her next 3 events, she can really shine. And she wants this title so badly, Phil. She lost, well, she came in second. She didn't lose anything. She came in second last year to Karima Mero. She lost by a mere, measly 1/10, and she's definitely ready to win this competition.
The Washington Huskies are on the bars, and this is a sophomore from Tucson, Arizona, Stacy Connolly.
She's coming off a very exciting freshman year, and she's doing pretty well this year. As you can see, her career best on the bars is a 10.0. She has such great lines. She's 5'5", which is rather tall for a gymnast, and you'll see on the uneven bars, it really makes a difference. She has long arms and long legs, and it's really pretty to watch on this event.
A moment ago, we saw Tina Brinkman on the beam. There's her score, 9.375.
See, and she didn't fall off. That's exactly what I was talking about. I think what happened was the judges took off more than 2/10 on one of those skills in her flight series, and therefore all the bonus went away. So she thought she had a 10-0 value routine, and it wasn't there. Plus, she got the deduction for the bent knees. And here is Stacey Connolly. She's going to be doing some swinging moves called a stalter, and it was popularized in 1978 in the World Championships by a teammate of mine back in Connecticut at Grossfeld. Her name is Marcia Frederick, and she was the 1978 World Champ. Look for the lines. There's one stalter, and she does a pirouette. See, she looks very pretty because she has long arms and long legs. There's another stalter, and she hops, switches her hand, and then she does an interesting straddle back. She's moving very well. Washington has their best team ever. Here's a release move, a Tkachev. Very well. You see, it was a little slower than most of the top gymnasts. She went over. That was a mistake, but she's improvising very well. She'll get a little deduction because she started to sort of fall off the bar. She's a little over on the handstand. And here's her dismount, a double tuck flyaway, a great landing, a very great landing. She really does well in this event. She's going to be a little disappointed, Phil, because of that sort of over on the handstand, and she had to kind of make up for it, but it was a plan B, and it happened to work for her. Going to take another look at her here. This is her Tkachev release move. Look at her flexibility on her straddle. Very, very nicely done. And here is her handstand. She goes over. You see, she tries to save it. She can't do it. She has to pirouette and do an overshoot. But she had some leg separation, and she's definitely going to suffer a deduction there.
It was a year ago as a freshman when she put that perfect 10 on the bars up on the scoreboard for the Washington Huskies. It was their first perfect 10 in the history of the Huskies program.
A great landing for Stacey Connolly.
Now don't go away. We're coming back to Seattle, Washington for more of this 1994 Pac-10 Women's Gymnastics Championships. A moment ago, we saw Stacey Connolly of Washington on the uneven bars. Her score, 9.65.
A pretty good score for Stacey. That's definitely going to hold up tonight, I believe so, because she did have that little break, and she came out of it pretty well.
Now, this is Stanford's Janae Elzy, and I think this could be Stanford's best vault year ever. They've got some tremendous performers on the vault, and one of them, she's healthy again, Janae Elzy.
And this is one major reason for this team's success. They're really starting to get up there in the upper echelon of gymnastics in this country. She's ranked number 16 in the country. And she's doing a handspring front in the tuck position. She had to take a lot of steps on the landing, but she got a lot of distance away from the horse. And if you're a powerful gymnast with a lot of lower body strength, then this is your event. The women are allowed to take 2 vaults, keep the score of the best vault.
So you keep one and throw one out. So the judges have to simply forget they saw the bad one.
If you look at it that way, we're going to take another look at it. The handspring, front in the tuck position, nice and high, nice and far away, but all those steps. She does have a lot of power, which is why she's so good on this event. Now, on this second vault, she is going to try to stick the landing. She really needs to get that done. She is ranked number 16 in the all-around in the country this year, averaging a 38.731. And if some of the top gymnasts have a fall or a major break, she could really edge her way in there.
Her first vault score, 9.45. The top vault score tonight came from Washington's Eileen Castillo, a 9.7.
Now remember, she's going to try to stick the landing, handspring front in the tuck position, a little bit better, but she's so powerful. She over-rotated and took that big step. That vault, is only worth a 9.9. Vaults are valued at a particular score as designated by the Code of Points, which is the gymnastics Bible. Let's take another look at her second vault. Good pre-flight. She separates her legs a little bit, nice and high in the air. She drops out and really has to take a step because she has so much explosive energy. The key things that the judges are looking for in this event, of course, are height off of the horse. She had it, distance away from the horse, and that will save her, but they will take a deduction for the landing.
Now her score, 9.6. Janae Elzy shares a distinction with teammate Hillary Anderson as being the first NCAA regional champions from Stanford.
That's right. She was the 1993 West Regional Bar Champion. A 9.6 for that vault was a pretty good score.
That was Katie Freeland.
Phil, there are 7 different rotations going on here because there are 7 different Pac-10 teams. 3 teams have a bye each rotation, and every event is going on at once, so there's lots of action here at Heck Edmondson. It's interesting to note also that this meet is a carbon copy of the regional meet because 7 teams qualify for a region, each regional meet, so it's the exact same rotation system.
Arizona State on this rotation is on the balance beam, and this is Dana Lister, a 5'1" junior from Tulsa, Oklahoma. She is the record holder at ASU on the beam, one of the top beam performers in the country, Dana Lister.
She is exceptional, Phil. Just last weekend, she scored a perfect 10. She is ranked number 2 in the country, averaging a 9.9. Imagine averaging a 9.9. A very solid and clean gymnast on the balance beam. Lots of difficulty. A very precise performer, and you'll see exactly what I mean.
There has never been a perfect 10 scored in Pac-10 gymnastics history. There have been 10s in the vault, the bar, the floor, but no one has ever scored a perfect 10 on the beam. Guess who came closest? She's here tonight.
She is, and that's Joy Seelig, and she is an assistant coach at the University of Washington.
Turncoat. She started at Oregon State, and what a great start she was.
Dana's getting ready now for her mount. She's going to do a very difficult mount. She does so much difficulty. A round-off layout step out onto the beam to a pretty good landing, a little off to the side, but she came out of it well. Just watch the execution and the precision. You can see how narrow the balance beam is, and she's tumbling on it. A back handspring, layout step out to a perfect landing. She has so much confidence on this event, and you can see why, especially when the judges reward her with perfect scores. It's her leap pass, a switch leg leap, intermediate side aerial. Boom, boom, boom. She does an incredible job. There's a required element down on the balance beam. She's doing great. I love to watch her on this event because this is how a beam performer should look when she's performing on the balance beam. There's a full turn requirement. Remember, they're going to be combining C and D elements to get their bonus. We haven't seen any E moves yet, but I'll be sure to point them out as soon as we do. She really goes over and above in terms of difficulty. Most people like to play it safe, get their bonus out of the way, but she jam-packs her routine. And here comes her dismount. A cartwheel, gainer full off the side, a very great routine. I don't think we'll see a 10 tonight, but pretty close. She's definitely going to have the highest score for the ASU Sun Devils on this event.
Dana Lister has made our national team 4 times. A year ago, she scored a perfect 10 twice. She is unquestionably the anchor on that Sun Devil Beam squad.
Again, we're looking at the balance beam 4 inches wide, 4 feet off the ground. You can see how precise. There is no room for error, no margin for error at all whatsoever. And here comes another look at her dismount. The cartwheel, gainer full off of the side of the beam. She swings that leg around, does a full twist, and lands it perfectly.
Nana needs a 9.95 for the Sun Devils to take the lead, and she just missed it. 9.85 for Dana Lister and the Sun Devils of Arizona State. Site of the 1994 Pacific 10 Conference Women's Gymnastics Championships. Along with Maura Driscoll, I'm Phil Stone, so happy you could join us for an evening of tremendous quality gymnastics. And this is Christy Gunning from the University of Arizona on the floor. You look at what she did a year ago, first team All-American on the floor.
You see she has that brace on her right wrist. She's just coming back from a fractured wrist. She injured her wrist on the balance beam doing a dismount in competition on January 22nd. I was there to see that meet. It was the second meet of the season. They have definitely missed her. She is Arizona's top all-arounder, and she's just coming back now, which is the right time of the season to do that. After this meet, Phil, we have the regionals and then nationals. And regionals is a very important meet because it counts 100% towards your berth to nationals. It means everything. It's an all-or-nothing meet, a hit or miss type of situation. So they can really salvage their entire season in one meet. And they hope to do that, especially with Christy Gunning back in the lineup.
Senior from Paradise Valley, Arizona. Her career best on the floor, 9.9.
She is a first-team All-American on the floor exercise. She finished 9th at Nationals last year with a 9.9. And here we go, her first tumbling pass. Round of flip-flop double tuck to an immediate punch front. There is her double salto requirement. That is very difficult. She has to anticipate that landing and totally change her direction. She's going backwards, doing 2 saltos, and then immediately doing a front tuck out of it. Very well done. I've seen her do that. She does that pretty well. I mean, better than anyone in the country. She does it very easily. Again, on the floor exercise, some of the things we're looking for. You know, this event really characterizes the true call of a gymnast. On one hand, a gymnast has to be strong and tough and explosive while they're tumbling. And then on the other hand, she has to be graceful and elegant and dynamic. And that's a lot to ask of one person. But she's doing both of these things very well. You have to think it must be a little painful. She is tumbling on that wrist after all. She's competing in the all-around this evening.
Earlier tonight, we saw Oregon State Sherry Knight put up a 9.85 on the floor, and that is the best score yet this evening.
And here is her second and final tumbling pass, a double full, and she fulfilled all the requirements. Only 2 passes, though. A good job for Christy Gunning.
And on the beam, UCLA's Karima Marrow. You look at her season and career best, it doesn't get much better than that.
She is going for back-to-back Pac-10 team titles. And the Pac-10 is one of the toughest conferences to compete in terms of the level and caliber of gymnastics competition. The Pac-10 had 4 teams finish in the top 12 at the NCAA's last year. Here comes her big tumbling pass, a round-off, layout step-out. Oh, and she fell off the beam. I haven't seen her fall much either. This is really surprising for UCLA. Leah Homa fell on bars, and Karima has fallen on the balance beam. It's going to be interesting to see how things pan out. But I have to think that maybe with a fall like that, it's going to be tough for her to win. But you never know.
UCLA thus far on the beam tonight, Maura, a 9.75 and a 9.7.
Those are great scores, so maybe they can drop this score if they don't need it. But individually, they are going to, this is going to hurt Karima. That was a nice gainer layout step out we saw a little earlier. The way the lineup works in women's gymnastics is that each team is allowed to compete 6 gymnasts, but only 5 scores count. And you like to compete 6 so you can drop the lowest score in case someone has a fall like Karima or a major break. Her big dismount, a round-up double back to a great landing. I've seen her compete this routine flawlessly all year, but she's had some problems on the dismount because she has so much energy. But she really did a good job, and you can tell from this picture here, she is very disappointed. She is not used to making mistakes.
A moment ago, we saw Christy Gunning of Arizona on the floor. Her score tonight, 9.725.
Not surprising for a first-team All-American. They're not going to throw out high scores tonight because it's a championship meet. We're going to see another one of her tumbling passes. Take another look here. I believe this is her first tumbling pass, a round-off flip-flop, double tuck. Now watch this. She lands, immediately changes direction, a front tuck. A great job. Very difficult. Those are her 2 saltos. She gets bonus for that pass. She seems happy with that, you can tell.
Now Karima Marrow on the balance beam a moment ago. Unbelievable for Karima Marrow.
This is her tumbling pass that she fell on, which is very disappointing. So she's lined up, and her shoulders are off to the side, and she just simply fell off to the left there. Again, 4 inches wide, 4 feet off the ground, but a pretty good score with a fall. Remember, it is a 5/10 deduction when you fall off an apparatus.
So while Karima O'Mara sits and contemplates, we'll step away from this 1994 Pac-10 Women's Gymnastics Championship. Still so much more to come from Seattle, Washington. Is set to mount the balance beam. UCLA needs a big score.
And this is her signature move. It's the Homa flares, very similar to the pommel horse in the men's event. Incredible strength required. She introduced that move along with a few others in the 1989 World Championships. She has a tremendous amount of international experience, and she is excellent on this event. She did a full turn into an immediate gainer layout step out, and there's her signature move again. That's called the Homa flip. Again, she showed the world those moves, and therefore she got credit in the International Code of Points. The Homa flares and the Homa flip. She also does the Homa flares on the floor exercise. Going to see her flight pass right here. A back handspring with her feet together to a layout step out to a great landing. You can see co-head coach Scott Bull in the corner there. He was happy with that solid landing, and she's doing a solid performance. The coaches, Valerie Condos and Scott Bull, were the West Regional co-head coaches of the year. She moves so well and so fluidly on this event, which is exactly what we want to see. Everything is done consecutively. The judges have very little to take off on, and that is the true intention of working on the balance beam. An excellent jump pass. Everything is just a display of perfect amplitude, execution, flexibility, gracefulness. I cannot say enough about her. And here's her dismount, a gainer full off the side, an incredible routine, a very, very nice job for Leah Homa. And Scott Bull is happy, too.
Homa's score, a 9.85. And boy, did the Bruins need a huge score from Leah Homa, and they got it.
They really did, and that was a good job.
Here is Oregon State's Renee Runyon, a sophomore from Los Gatos, California, as she prepares to mount the bars here at Seattle, Washington. Oregon State's record this year, 12-4. Jim Turpin has done it again.
He is an exceptional coach. We just got to look at Renee's career best, a 9.9, and that doesn't say enough because she scored a 9.9 last year 4 times. She is an uneven bar specialist. She focuses primarily on this event. An amazing release move, an incredible, unique move. And here she's doing a giant swing, a pirouette on the top of the bar. That's a D move. And here's another release move, a Jaeger, nice and high above the bar. Just an incredible job. She came in second last year at the PAC-10, scoring a 9.9, one of those 4 that she scored, and a double tuck flyaway to a perfect landing. She is very excited about that. Jim Turpin, the head coach at the Oregon State University, is in his 9th season. He was a Pac-10 Coach of the Year in 88, 91, and 92, so he's definitely well respected in the region, the Western region, the Pac-10, and the country. We're going to see the whole routine again. I'm just going to let you watch. She does everything that she's supposed to do. Excellent swing, a very interesting release move there. And she does a giant swing. She'll pirouette on the top of the bar, a D move. Getting ready for her second release move, a Jaeger, nice and high. Caught it a little close to the bar, but nothing to really be concerned with. She'll get set up for her dismount here. A giant double tuck, and she nailed the landing. A little step backwards, but a very great job. An exciting routine, and a 9.8. And if you think that was good, wait till you see this individual compete. She has so much pure talent. She is so exceptional. There's her full and a half pirouette to an immediate Jaeger way far away from the bar. That full and a half pirouette was an E move. We showed you at the beginning of the telecast. That's worth 2/10 bonus, and then she combined it with her release move, a Jaeger. Another full pirouette right on the top of the bar. Her second release move, a Tkachev. I am out of breath. I cannot believe this routine. She's doing so well. Her double tuck flyaway, nailed it! Boom, on the dismount. It comes so easy for her. Phil, she has scored a 10 on bars in her career 5 times. I don't know one single gymnast who has that accolade to her credit. Shari Knight, an amazing job. That may be good enough to take the title here at the PAC-10 Championships. Just a beautiful job. Look at her leg extension. Here's her full and a half pirouette. So much control required into an immediate release move, a Jaeger. I mean, usually you want to set up for it and kind of know where your hands are going to be, but she does an incredible pirouette into her release move. Here comes her dismount. Watch her on this landing. A double tuck flyaway. Boom! A great job for Shari.
No, they're coming off a tremendous vault a moment ago, and now Oregon State, a great bar score. Shari Knight, 9.95. They've got 4 bar moves over 9.8. On the floor exercise, 2-time defending Pac-10 champion Tina Brinkman, and look at those eyes going.
Talk about expression. She does that throughout her entire routine. We will see that, and it's a too bad she doesn't get bonus 10s for eyebrow maneuvers. Here's her first tumbling pass. Oh my goodness, that was 1.5. That was a Rudy into a double full. Unbelievable. It's a very new tumbling pass. She has totally transformed her tumbling this year. because of the new requirements. A Rudy is an E-move, and she jumped right into it. I've never seen it done that way. Very good job. And we can see her expression. She loves to compete on this event. She loves to pull the audience in, and you will see exactly what I mean. Her second tumbling run, a round of back handspring double full, a great job. Of course, Phil, she is the defending PAC-10 floor exercise champion, and here's that expression we're talking about, true showmanship. She has a great time out there, and this is the event you can really do that. What we're looking for in the floor exercise is creative choreography and harmony of music and movement, and Tina's doing that very well. She has so much fun. Here we go again. There are those eyebrows. Great expression. She is doing 3 tumbling passes. You can see head coach John Spini in the corner there. He's cheering her on, getting her ready for her last tumbling pass. A double tuck, and she made it. And there, Coach Spini is very happy about that. That's a very tough tumbling run to finish out with because it's very tiring to do floor. This is a new routine, an incredible job. She has won this event at the PAC-10s for the last 2 years. In '92, she scored a perfect 10. Last year, she won the event with a 9.85. And it looks like we could see a repeat performance. We'll have to see what her score is.
After 2 events, it is Oregon State leading UCLA, Arizona State, Stanford, Washington, California, and Arizona rounding out the scoring here at this '94 renewal of the PAC-10 Championships. We told you at the outset, these PAC-10s are normally very, very close competitions, and this one is living up to its advanced billing. Back with more of the PAC-10s from Seattle in a moment. From UCLA, this is Leah Homa, the outstanding freshman from Toronto.
She is so beautiful to watch on this event. She does her floor routine to cello music, and every year head coach Valerie Kondo says she likes to challenge herself in terms of choreography, and this is the one routine this year that she really stretched the limits and challenged herself. It's so beautiful. Here's her first tumbling pass, a round up, whip back, flip, flop, double pike to a perfect landing. So beautiful. Watch her dynamic expression through her dance. Co-head coach Valerie Kondos has a tremendous ability of creating a style for each gymnast by highlighting their individual skills. And you're looking at that right now. Each gymnast's routine truly suits their strengths. And that's a credit to Coach Kondos. It's her second tumbling pass. A round of back handspring double pike, a very strong second pass. She is doing such an excellent job. Again, there's her Homa flip. We saw it on the beam, and she just sort of incorporated it into her floor routine. She will also do the Homa flares on the floor. Again, her signature move. Here it goes. Requires so much strength. I cannot even tell you how hard that is. Look at this dynamic dance. Just incredible. Valerie Kondos is one of the premier choreographers in the country. UCLA's floor routines are really a cut above the rest of the country. And her final tumbling run. A round of flip-flop double full, very strong tumbling. This is a beautiful, beautiful routine. You just feel her expression. A great job by Leah Homa. Co-head coach Valerie Kondos has to be very pleased. That is her work right there that she's witnessing. And a beautiful job.
Leah Homa's top score on the floor, a 9.9 this year.
She has had such a tremendous freshman campaign. This is a look at her final tumbling pass. It's a double full, round of back handspring, double full to a pretty good landing. But a really, really nice job for Leah. She has so much expression. She knows how to show it off and shine. She has to be happy with that, Phil. Just a beautiful job.
Now, you regard her as a freshman in collegiate status only. She has a wealth of international experience for her Canadian national team. In fact, in 1992, Maura, she would have made the team that represented Barcelona, that performed in Barcelona, had it not been for injury. Here is Arizona's Christy Gunning, her second run at the vault.
Of course, she is the defending PAC-10 champ on the vault. A handspring front with a half twist worth a 10-0. A pretty good, a lot of distance away from the horse. She kind of had a weird action on her twisting. Maybe we'll take another look at that. But she got a lot of distance and pretty good height. Those were the two key elements that we're looking for on this event, as always. Height off of the horse and distance away from the horse. And she has that brace on her wrist. I told you she fractured her wrist earlier in the season. And you have to think that that hurts on the vault. You have to push through your hands. Leah Homa's score on the floor was a 9.775. Not as high as I had expected.
Here is Janae Elzy from Stanford.
Janae is very good on this event. It's actually her best event, even though she's a power gymnast. She tied for third at the PAC-10s last year.
And she is the surprise leader in the all-around after two events.
You know, Phil, on this event, it is a surprise given the incredible caliber of gymnastics and individual talent, but she's ranked 16th in the country in the all-around. A back handspring layout, step out to an immediate back handspring. Oh, and she's having a little bobble there. This is very unusual for her. That's a major deduction. They could take up to 5/10 on this event, and I wonder what that will do to the individual picture in the all-around. All of our top gymnasts have had some problems. It's very interesting. You know, on this event, in 30-plus routines, she has had only 3 falls. That is 3 falls in 3 years of competition, and that bobble obviously is very uncharacteristic. Only 3 falls in 3 years. That is certainly a desirable attribute for a coach, to have one of his gymnasts be that consistent, because consistency in gymnastics is everything. A nice split jump to an immediate back tuck, and these are the consecutive elements that we're looking for in the balance beam, combining jumps and leaps and turns and tumbling. That's how these gymnasts earn bonus on this event. This PAC-10 championship really marks the beginning of the championship season. It's the part of the season that matters. This is the warm-up meet for regionals, which is 2 weeks away. And her dismount, a round-off full. Not the greatest difficulty, but enough to have her routine probably be worth a 10-0. We'll have to see what the judges deem, but she had that major break, and that's disappointing to her, given she was leading the all-around. Score for Christy Gunning was a 9.675. A pretty good score for that vault. She had a little problem. It wasn't exactly very tight in the air when she was twisting, but she did get a lot of distance away from the horse, and that counted for something. That was a perfect 10-0 vault that we saw. Head coach Breck Greenwood from Stanford University says that the PAC-10 Championships are the second most exciting gymnastics event in the world. He thinks the Nationals, NCAAs, are the most exciting, even beating Olympic competition. This is Karima Merrill on the floor exercise, and I'll tell you, it doesn't get any better than this. She is going to be doing, in her first tumbling pass, a double layout. The only one you will see in the competition. Pay close attention to it. A little eyebrow movement there, too. It's kind of the wave of the evening. Her second layout, she flips backwards twice in a completely stretched position. The score of Elsie was a 9.3. Like I said, it looks like it was a fall. 5/10 for that move. Here's her double layout. She goes higher on her second layout. Let's see. Unbelievable. A great job. I love to watch her do that. That is a move that really can't be taught. And when I say that, I mean it's sheer talent. You are either capable of doing that, you have the power and the talent to do that, or you can't do that. You can't just take any person and teach them that sort of skill. She is excellent on this event. Her second tumbling pass, a double full. That comes so easy for her. She has to almost slow herself down so she doesn't over-rotate. Again, we're seeing a different style of gymnastics, very different from Leah Homa, more of a powerful gymnast. And here's another little tumbling pass, a front through to a full. Karima actually does 4 tumbling passes. As I said earlier, it's only required to do 2, but because she does such a great job tumbling, she doesn't really suffer many deductions, so she can add in as many as she wants. She had that one because it's a requirement to have 2 saltos in one of your passes, and you see there she did a front through to a full. And she's getting ready, taking a breather before her last tumbling pass. She will end with a double pike, which is a great last tumbling pass. And it's practically as high as her first tumbling pass. Another testament to her stamina and explosive energy. A beautiful routine for Karima Merrill. I've actually seen her land her double layout a little better than that, but she can't be disappointed because no one in this competition is competing that. Not many people in the country. There's only just a few. We're going to see her last tumbling pass. It's a double pike, just as high as her first tumbling pass. A great job. She nails the landing.
Now, Karima Mero, her top score ever on the floor, 9.975. When we return, we'll give you her score this time around. Arizona State is set for the vault, and it is Tina Brinkman. She scored a perfect 10 against Arizona earlier this year, and she needs a 9.75 on the vault to take the lead in the overall, away from UCLA's Leah Homa.
Here she goes with a handspring front with a half twist. A very good vault. She gets so much distance away from the horse, but she knows how to do this vault perfectly. She knows how to stick it, and that's exactly what Coach Steeney is telling her right now. See, she's practicing it right there. She wants to stick that landing. And on a vault like this, she can see the landing coming around. It's not a blind move. We're going to see another look at this vault. You can see how she can see the floor when she's coming down. Watch this. A good pre-flight, nice height, good tight position. Here she can see the ground and sort of plant the landing. She had a little hop, but a very good landing, and she's going to try to stick it perfectly this time. She is the defending Pac-10 champion on this event. She tied last year with Christy Dunning of the University of Arizona.
And she is tied for number 4th in the nation in the vault this year.
She is actually ranked, Phil, number 4, like you said, averaging a 9.919. An amazing score to average. There's the same vault. We're looking for a stuck landing. Let's see if she can do it. Pretty much the same vault. We'll have to see. But again, the competitors are allowed to take 2 vaults, and they keep the score of the best vault. But she did everything very well. Take another look at this second vault. Pretty much exactly the same as the first one. Here's her pre-flight. A handspring front with a half to a good landing. Her first vault score was a 9.85.
And that was enough to take over the lead in the all-around.
This is such a tight competition in the individual race. And, you know, it's not surprising because these individuals are used to competing against each other, used to breathing down each other's necks. Tina Brinkman of ASU and Karima Mero of UCLA. Her score on the floor, a 9.85.
And right now, Karima is number 3 in the all-around behind Tina Brinkman, Leah Homa, then Mero. Jennings is up there of Stanford.
As we just saw, Tina Brinkman's score was a 9.85, the same score as the first vault. I said they were very, very similar, and she received the same score on both, so that is the final score she will take. Stanford's Katie Jennings, you mentioned, she isn't exactly coming out of nowhere. She's only a freshman, though. The only other freshman who's leading with Homa. She is probably regarded as one of the top recruits in the country this year, and she chose Stanford over gymnastics power, the University of Utah, Arizona, Florida, and Michigan. So they are definitely happy to have her in their lineup. She usually competes 3 events for the Cardinal, but she's since implemented adding the vault, and she adds 1 event, and she seems to be up there in the all-around. We're looking at Katie Freeland now for the Sun Devils. She's just a sophomore, and she's coming off a great freshman year also.
Good crowd on hand here tonight at Heck Edmondson Pavilion on the University of Washington campus.
We're looking at Michelle Santos of Oregon State University on the balance beam. She was up in the top 20 in the country in early March, but there are so many competitive gymnasts individually in the entire country. It's tough to stay up there, but she is a first-team All-American. She finished 4th at the NCAAs last year, so she is up there in the country, and hopefully she can do a good job for the Oregon State Beavers tonight and also at the Nationals in April.
Now, she earned All-American status on the beam for the first time in her career a year ago, and there's Jim Turpin. What a great guy. I'd say anything you want to know about gymnastics in general, or Oregon State in particular, he just pours his heart out to you.
He really does. He is one of the nicest guys. He is so well respected and well liked, as you said, throughout the country. Michelle Santos, a round-off backhand. Oh, and an immediate fall. It is so hard to rebound when you fall on your mount. That is the last thing you want to happen. But it is a true mark of an experienced and mentally tough athlete if she can come back. And as we can see, she did her big tumbling pass and she stayed on. That is definitely disappointing for her, and that's something that can really ruin your overall average, and maybe that's why she's out of the top 20 now. If you have one fall averaged in there, it's going to hurt you. That's the side aerial. On the beam, Oregon State is ranked number 3 in the country. They are the highest ranked team on the balance beam in the Pac-10. They are ending on this event, which you don't like to do. She's really having some problems, bobbles here and there. And again, I can't emphasize enough all the activity that's going on around her. You can hear the music in the background. The crowd is cheering for all sorts of different teams. You really have to be focused and concentrated. Another side, sort of a side semi or a side aerial, we'll have to see what the judges give credit for. Again, they're ranked number 3 in the country on this event. And like I was saying, they're ending on this event, which you don't usually like to do because it's such a pressure event. It's really an event where it's a miss or, you know, hit or miss, make or break you kind of thing, and you really have to be concentrated to get it all done. You hate to end on this event, in plain truth. And there's her dismount, a gainer full off the side, and really not a great routine. You can see Jim Turpin's reaction. He's surprised at that, and Jill Hicks, this is sort of a sad thing for her.
Now Michelle, senior out of Portland. Oregon State has 4 competitors with 9.65s and above.
We'll take a look at her fall again. Remember, she has scored a 10 on this event this year. Round off back handspring. You see her right hand didn't get fully on the beam. It kind of slipped down, which caused her to fall. Michelle Sandos. We're waiting for her score, Phil.
Well, she knew when to peak a year ago, Maura. At the West Regionals, she scored career highs on the beam, the vault, and the floor, but this is not the way she wanted to go into the regionals of '94.
You are right, Phil, but they can salvage everything. I mean, this is a very important meet for Oregon State, but the regionals counts for everything. A 9.0 is a pretty good score for a lot of bobbles and a fall.
And here comes Shari Knight.
She is pretty much unequaled on this event. She does everything, full difficulty, flexibility, displays of strength and grace. Just excellent precision. You notice she's not wearing her knee brace on her knee. She doesn't need it on this event. She was just cleared last week, but she doesn't have to wear it. She did wear it on the uneven bars tonight, though, and floor exercise, of course. Back handspring, layout, step out. A little bobble. I saw her nail it in practice in the warm-ups, but that's okay. She's doing well. And a big leap, switch side leap, which she did very well.
She's number 3 in the nation on the beam this year, behind Beth Weimer of Michigan and Dana Lister of Arizona State.
Watch this move. It's a reverse planche. So much strength required in your shoulders, lower back flexibility, and a required movement down on the balance beam. She has so much confidence. She works with great ease, very fluid, very precise, no margin for error. She doesn't give much away. And a leap into a gainer layout step out, very well done. You notice that her legs are always tight. You never see any form breaks with her. Perfect toe point, perfect leg extension. Everything is just so. Back handspring, full twisting dismount to a perfect landing. A very, very nice routine. And you can hear the crowd go wild here at Heck Edmonton. The Oregon State Beavers have quite a following here in Washington.
Shari Knight this year, a 9.95 on the beam. When we come back, we'll find out her score here on this 1994 Pac-10 Championship. Shari Knight a moment ago on the balance beam, a 9.9.
I think that's the best we have seen all evening. I know the routine was.
And here is Arizona State's Dana Lister as she mounts the bars.
And here's a giant swing, full pirouette into her release move, Adelchev. She's moving very well on this event. She's the first competitor up, which is very unusual because usually the best gymnasts come up last. But it's also a huge responsibility because if she hits, it means good things usually for the rest of the team, kind of getting the momentum going. A double back dismount to a perfect landing. She scored a 10 on this event on February 25th of this year. And she and Shari Knight have the only 10s in the Pac-10 conference. She scored a 9.85, the first person up. That can only mean good things for the rest of the competitors as the routines get better, ideally. A great job.
Sun Devils finished the season 13-4, and if they were to have a problem this year, John Spini thought it might be, Maura, in the uneven bars because they lost Jenny Esther, 1993 All-American.
That's right, and she has really bad back problems. She hasn't competed all year, and they're definitely feeling her loss. Especially on the bars this year, it's important because it's the event that is most affected by the new scoring rules.
You bet.
Throughout the country, we're seeing lower overall scores on this apparatus. Speaking of the new scoring rules, I was talking to Jim Turpin of OSU and Jim Galt of the University of Arizona, and they agree that the new scoring system in college is asking the judges to do too much. Because of all the combination bonus and the execution, it's very tough for the judges to catch everything. It really is asking them to do a lot.
Here is UCLA's Leah Homa. She broke the school record for the all-around versus Santa Barbara last weekend with a score of 39.475. I'll tell you, that says a lot when you consider the all-arounders that have come out of UCLA.
That's for sure. She's an exceptional all-around gymnast. Again, she has an international flair. She's very focused as a competitor. Just an incredible overall athlete. On the vault, she will be doing a handspring front in the tuck position. It's only worth a 9.9. But most of the international gymnasts have a tough time in college because they're not allowed to do a Yurchenko vault, a round-off entry vault. A handspring front tuck, a little hop on the landing, but a good job. She makes it look so easy. Again, just a joy to watch. You know, as we said earlier, Leah Homa is from Toronto, Canada, and her teammates give her a hard time. She has a very formal manner of speaking. She asks permission to go to the washroom and calls her leotard her gym suit, but she really is a really great person. Here's her first vault again. Handspring front in the tuck position. Nice tight body position in the air, but a little hop on the landing. Of course, she will try to better that. Assistant coach Randy Lane telling her exactly what to do. He specializes in helping these gymnasts on the vault. He was a gymnast himself at the University of Illinois when they won the national championship in 1989. Getting ready for her second vault. You can bet she will try to stick this landing. And Bill, on the vault, again, it's an explosive event where you can really put your meat adrenaline to good use. This is an event where those competitions can really help you rather than turn against you. Requires a lot of power, good fast run, drive your heels off the board, push through your arms, and stick the landing.
The Bruins, as a team, Maura, need a huge effort on the vault if they're to win this team competition here in '94.
Well, depending on how huge is huge, they are ranked number 5 on the vault, the highest ranked team in the Pac-10. Here's her second vault, a handspring front in the pike position, a 10-0 vault, so already better, and a very good landing, a very good job. I think this is the first time she's implemented that vault all season long. She is such a tremendous athlete. I was saying earlier, as an international gymnast, they're allowed to do a vault called a Yurchenko vault. It's a round-off entry. You do a round-off before the board. It's not allowed in college, so she has to almost revert back to old vaults. A very, very nice job. She is so tight. Everything, her legs, her toes, everything is always perfect with her.
Her first vault scored a 9.725, and there is her second vault, a 9.8.
She bettered her first vault as we expected because the value of the handspring front in the pike position is a perfect 10 value. So they only deducted, obviously, 2/10.
A year ago, Tina Brinkman and Christy Gunning from Arizona tied for the vault. And this is Katie Jennings of Stanford. And boy, is she in the thick of the running for the all-around.
She really is. This is the first time we've seen her all night, but she is widely regarded as the top recruit in the nation this year. And her first tumbling pass, a round-off whip-back, flip-flop, double pike. Oh, and she sat it down. So many bizarre things have happened with the top individual gymnast. It's going to be so interesting to see what happens. She was really in the thick of things, and I have to believe that that's going to take her out. Her second tumbling pass is going to be a front full. We're seeing a lot of forward tumbling this year because they're getting bonus. This is a D move, and she gets 1/10 of bonus. There you go, a front handspring front full, and another slip. This is very surprising. As I said, she's a very exceptional gymnast. She has the highest difficulty on the team overall in all of her events. She's usually a 3-event specialist, but she added the vault tonight, and she was doing very well until a few slips on the floor exercise. And her final tumbling run. A round-up flip-flop full. Just a B dismount. And a very dramatic ending. She's just a freshman, so she has many years to come back with the title.
Here's Tina Brinkman of Arizona State on the bars. Her season and career best, a 9.9.
And her release move, a Ginger, and she fell. This is such a bizarre competition. I can't say it enough. I have watched these individuals compete meet in and meet out, and they hit. And the interesting thing, Phil, is that this is the beginning of the championship season. The girls are, they're tired at the end of their season, but like in all sports, this is crunch time. This is the time that really matters. She has 30 seconds to remount the bar, but that is a 5/10 deduction, and she definitely has to be disappointed.
Well, she needs a 9.675 to catch Leah Homa of UCLA. Jennings needed a 9.85.
She's not going to get a 9.65. I really don't think so. And a giant swing. And her dismount, a toe on front with a half to a perfect landing. And I know if we can take a look at her expression, she is not going to be pleased. She is so tough on herself as a competitor. You see that she's disappointed. She's getting some words of encouragement from head coach John Speeney. John Speeney has his work cut out for him this year because he's losing 5 seniors. This is one of their top teams ever, but to lose 5 seniors on this team is really going to be tough to replace. He has 3 gymnasts who will sign as freshmen, and he has a walk-on gymnast, Bridget Sandman, that will probably earn a scholarship.
Katie Jennings scored a moment ago, an 8.775 on the floor. As I said, she needed a 9.85 to catch Homa. Not even close.
A disappointing score for Katie Jennings of the Cardinal team. Another look at Tina Brinkman and her expression of disappointment, getting some words of encouragement from teammate. We will take another look at Tina Brinkman's fall. After her mount, she does an uprise to handstand. She does a full pirouette right in the handstand, and her Ginger release move, she fingertipped it, and she just missed it. You know, when you are training these release moves, that is how you want to catch them way far away, and a 9.0 is really going to take her out of the all-around race. A very topsy-turvy competition here in the individual standings. This is Karen Nelson on the vault. She does a handspring front with a half twist. It is worth a 10.0. She does this vault extremely well. Take a look at the distance she gets away from the horse. A handspring front in the pike position with a half twist. Just an exceptional vault. You know, that's worth a 10.0 also, but I have to believe it's an unwritten upgrade to go from the tuck position to the pike position. She looks very happy. She's being congratulated by co-head coach Valerie Condos and her teammates. Just a great job. They are the strongest team in the Pac-10 on this event. And here's Karima Marrow. A handspring front in the pike position, nice and tight. A pretty big hop on the landing, and she's not happy with that. But she's still smiling. She knows how to do this vault perfectly. She got a 9.875, a very good score.
The all-around still very much up for grabs. Don't you dare go away. We're coming back as the 1994 Pac-10 Women's Gymnastics Championships are beginning to wind down. Coming into the season, UCLA freshman Leah Homa said that her biggest athletic thrill was competing in the 1989 World Championships and finishing 28th in the all-around. You can bet, here in the winter of '94, a brand new thrill. Leah Homa is the Pac-10 all-around champion.
What an accomplishment, Phil, for a freshman. She had the poise and composure of an upperclassman, which is not surprising because she's been that way all season long. Followed by Karima Marrow and Karen Nelson in a UCLA sweep. Leah Homa becomes UCLA's 5th Pac-10 all-around champion.
And it was her 4th all-around title this year, by far more of her most important. And the team victory goes to the Beavers of Oregon State over UCLA and Arizona State. We said at the outset of the telecast, Maura, year in and year out, these Pac-10 championships are decided by the narrowest of margins, and that certainly was the case again here in '94.
And Oregon State took home their third Pac-10 team title in what turned out to be a great victory for them as they beat a very good UCLA and Arizona State team. UCLA had the top 3 all-arounders, but it wasn't enough to take home the Pac-10 team title. They were going for back-to-back, but they were runner-ups this year.
In the past 8 years, only 2 teams have won this Pac-10 championship. UCLA has won 5, and now the Beavers of Oregon State have captured 3. We'll return to Heck Edmondson.